What is up? It's working. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, man. That was such an amazing set. It was so fun to have you on, even though it was virtually. I would love to have you in the studio, but thank you for making this happen. Can't
Absolutely.
can't rely on planes sometimes, but I'm happy we have technology like this and we can actually still connect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We learned all the things. We can connect
Yes.
anywhere in the world.
Yes. I don't. You can't see yourself, but you're actually in a spaceship right now. So
That,
it's
that is where I am.
yeah, it is. That's where you always are, I think, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so yeah, I just wanted to ask you a few questions, get to know you a little bit better. We've been friends forever, but we're always, we're at festivals and stuff and doing gigs, and I never really get to sit down and like dig into some of, who is AHEE. I'm just curious. So, what's your musical background? Did you grow up like with a musical family, or was like music a big part of your life growing up as a kid?
I mean, it wasn't. I mean, I've known ever since I was 6 years old that I wanted to grow up and do music. I can actually remember this moment at 6 years old. I was looking at the corner like ceiling in my childhood bathroom, and it's like burned into my memory that I would grow up to be a rock star, and then after that I would like, I don't know, do something else that was like, I don't beyond comprehension as a 6 year old.
That's amazing.
And so yeah, I'm in the building up that reality.
That's amazing. Did you play any instruments or anything when you were younger?
I was really bad.
You're really bad.
I played. I wanted to play. I think my first thing was a guitar. Actually, no. Well, what it was is that I wanted a Lemmings paintball video game. It's like a shooter video game, and my parents would not let me get shooter games. And so I got this thing called EJ instead. That was like basically a very rudimentary DAW that had like predetermined loops that was like cheesy trance and techno and whatnot. And so I was like, I wrote my first album when I was 11 years old.
Wow, do you still have it?
Called it's called Stuff and Junk.
That's so amazing.
And then,
Was that
and then my second album ever was called Taco Fever.
That's so. You've been you since the beginning. It sounds like. Was that on PlayStation by chance?
No, it was not. There was a DAW on PlayStation though. I remember seeing that, but this was not it. This was on PC.
Gotcha.
And yeah, I think I was like rapping about like doing drugs as a 11-year-old. I was like making hip hop beats and just being like heroin, just because I was stupid and didn't know what I was doing. And then eventually I figured out you could turn on the microphone, and then I started just recording weird sounds into the computer, and I started making all that IDM stuff. I'm not sure if you remember that IDM era, but I think I released my 69th album in 2019, and so I've stopped keeping track after that.
That's incredible. You're definitely one of the most prolific people I've ever encountered when it comes to music. I think the first time we ever really hung out was at that festival that would not shall be named. And I invited you and your partner there to like come to the festival, and I was like, "Where's AHEE? I haven't seen him in like 2 days." And they're like, "Oh, he's just been inside writing music for 2 days." And I was like, Are you having fun?" And you're like, "I'm so inspired. I can't stop writing music." And that was like my first real introduction to your work ethic, and it's super inspiring to me. That leads to my next question. How do you finish so many freaking tunes, man? Like, how many tunes did you put out last year?
I didn't count.
You didn't count? I thought you.
Oh wait, no, I did count. I released 21 or so.
That's insane, man.
Maybe 24, 21 or 24. I can't remember.
What's your tips for finishing a track? Because I have 175 unfinished tunes that are just mocking me every day that I open my computer.
Oh, I have so much unfinished stuff. It's I drop into a flow state, and like let me tell you, I've written so much bad music. But some of it turns out pretty good, and so I just keep on trying at it, and I go where the inspiration takes me. And and if I don't finish a track, then it's totally fine. You know, um, yeah, it's just, I don't know. I feel compelled to like write this music. I don't understand why actually,
I
but
mean,
it's just compelled.
you're doing a great service. I personally have fun until about the last 10% of the tune where I'm like, it needs something, but I don't know what. And then it sits in a graveyard for like a year. So,
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, those garage tunes you sent me are awesome.
thank you.
Like we were listening to those regularly.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah. I had a
And
lot of fun
so
writing
like,
those.
I don't know, what'd you do for those?
Those just finish themselves for some reason. I have a lot easier time wrapping up on kind of house and garage stuff than I do on bass music for some reason. Like maybe it's just me and the genre, but I definitely bang out house a lot faster. I think I'm a little bit more intricate and select. I listen to a lot of really intricate bass music and people who are just like mind blowing sound design people. And I try to
Yeah.
get my music there, and it's just a never ending quest. I feel like between you, Mr.
Oh, I
Bill,
feel that way
you
all the
know.
time too.
So I watch a lot of like your tips and tricks and Mr. Bill's stuff, and and I think sometimes I flood myself with too much information, and I like try to use it all, and it's just like, picking the best things is like the hardest part. I feel like.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I definitely have overproduced tracks, where it's just like, I mean, I like these parts, but the whole thing doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
Yeah, sometimes that's lucky. You get to split it into two tracks, and you're like, "Oh my god, I have to." That's happened to me once or twice.
I've done that too. But yeah, I don't know how I finish tracks. I just start a lot of tracks too, and I don't know. Nowadays, I notice that the faster I write them, the better they are. So now I can like finish a track. Like most of these tracks I played out, the best ones for me like are finished in 2-3 days.
Wow, that's crazy, man. I've done that once or twice. I've had a couple like bursts of inspiration where it's usually after like a really good festival or like a live set that I
Yeah.
like if I see somebody who blows my mind and I just have to write, usually like I can bang out a track in a day or two, but
Yeah.
these last 2
I
years have been
can't make
tricky.
music if I'm not inspired.
Yeah.
I'll try. Like there's so many times where I've, you know, been on an airplane or just been here in the studio and I'm just not feeling any magic vibes in the moment, and I don't ever write anything good in those times. It's like these rare times in which I hear something and I am just compelled to make it.
Yeah.
It's like I can't stop making it.
Yeah. What did you find? What did you use? Like the last inspiration's amazing. The last couple of years have been tricky. What have you found to be inspiring over the last couple of years since like live shows have been kind of, rare and few and far between? I guess you've been playing a bunch, but like going out to see live shows and stuff like that, it's like you kind of have to pick your battles these days. Have you found inspiration anywhere else besides going out to live shows or anything?
Yeah, well, just listening to other people's music I like, that kind of inspires me, where I'll hear a sound and I'm like, oh, I want to make something like that, but like combine it with this other thing that I like. And from there I will, what am I saying right now? I just totally blanked.
No, totally. No, it's totally fine. It's late.
I would say that whenever I'm writing, my mind is empty. Like when I am writing a good track, I have no thoughts in my mind. It's just like this creativity is just like flowing through me. And I would say, also I've been tapping into my own emotions and some sadness, and I have some songs that are inspired by sadness or like perseverance or, just, me wanting to be a better human alien,
Totally.
or just to hear something and just the excitement of it is the inspiration.
Amazing.
Just how it, just following the excitement and just making a sound that sounds exciting,
You do that well. You have a lot of like a bunch of times in this set. I was like, "Ooh, what was that noise, man? That was." You take, it's like you're really good at taking classic sounds and putting this weird new like futuristic alien twist on them, where like I hear something where I'm like, wow, that reminds me of the sample from this like rave track in the 90s, but it sounds like it's going through
Yeah.
some like alien filter.
Yeah, I love 90s rave music.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I could have been I would have been very happy born in the going to 90s raves, but I missed that. I mean, that's what I was doing as an 11-year-old. I was pretending I was an 11-year-old. I was like, I'm gonna grow up and take ecstasy, you know? And like, but I had no idea what any of that meant.
Yeah, no,
It's just
totally.
it was a vibe that I don't even know how I came across it, but I was like just so interested in this like really heart opened culture.
Yeah. How did you like? I guess you just answered. You don't really know how you found it. Do you have any like early memories of like how you discovered electronic music? I guess it was just making it right through like this DAW.
Yeah, making it, like, yeah, being exposed to a program that made it. I was also a big metalhead and really into punk music as well. And I really loved female metal.
Nice.
I was like, and like new metal,
Yeah.
where it was like electronic inspired metal. And then from there, I found Aphex Twin
Me
because
too.
I was always constantly looking for what's the most badass drums. And then I heard Aphex Twin. I'm like, these drums are unlike anything else.
Yeah.
And then I became obsessed with Square Pusher, Aphex Twin. And that's when I got into making IDM, and I made like 58 albums of IDM music.
Yeah, they are the
I don't-
they are the gateway drug, man. That was how I found electronic music pretty much too. I went from industrial music, stuff like Nine Inch Nails and Front 242, and then found Aphex Twin and Square Pusher and became obsessed with them. I think for most metalheads, I think they're literally the gateway drug. Like every metalhead I've talked to is like, I listen to metal and like, I like the metal with like a little electronic, and then I found Aphex Twin. So,
Yeah.
shout outs to Richard James for making a whole generation of multiple generations of weirdos that make weird
Yeah,
music.
I actually got to meet him.
Wow. Tell me about that.
It it uh, it was one of the only times I've ever fanboyed, like hardcore.
I
It
wouldn't know
was
what to do.
it was sort of an interesting situation because I had just been in a car wreck where my two best friends had passed away,
Oh.
and my girlfriend of 6 years broke up with me all in the same week.
Oh man.
So I was like going through a really hard time. That was in 2008. And one of my friends was so kind enough to he knew that I loved Aphex Twin. So he bought me a VIP pass to Coachella. And I got to meet Aphex Twin there. And there's actually a video online of a friend, because I could barely talk with him just because I was like, oh my God, it's Richard DJ. Oh my God, and then, but there's a video of my friend talking about this college we were going to called Cal Arts and talking about analog synths, and he gave him my CD. I don't think he ever listened to it. I think he was in the era of not listening to other people's music in 2008. It wasn't until later that he started playing out other people's tunes.
You need to send him some new stuff, man.
I have no idea how to get a hold of him.
Right. I know he's definitely a mystery.
But now, I see artists like Ikram and G Jones and sort of continuing that genre now within the context of bass music, and that's very exciting for me.
Yeah, 100%.
But here I am making, you heard the last track, it's like pop punk with dubstep, and it's just I don't know. I love so many different genres of music. I definitely love Blink-182, and so it's just all these different inspirations flowing through me, and when it aligns with the song, I just go with it, and I don't really limit myself to a genre, which is, I don't know if that's good or bad, but it's what I'm doing.
It's so good, man. That's what I appreciate about all of your sets and your music is it's kind of you never know what to expect. You kind of know what to expect. You have a sound, but you never know. That I just at the end of your set, I was like, how many genres was that? And how many BPMs did he go through smooth? It was there's no, you're really, really good. You're a good maestro and a good, just selector. It's just the just not only the music you write, but the order you put it in when you play it is really amazing. And one of my favorite DJs to see live. Your live experience is like no other, man. Your energy is insane, man. Maybe one of my favorite like stage presence I've ever
Yeah,
seen live.
I get even more hyped like the more people there are, I notice. And
Yeah,
I lose my sense of self and I like become this channel.
yeah.
Sort of like when writing music, it's
Hmm.
I feel like that's a flow state. Yeah, I guess it's like achieving a flow state. Like spitting poi,
Hmm.
spitting fire. Like I definitely found that when I could use a language around flow state, I began to understand what was inspired, like what state of being I needed to be in order to be inspired and write good music.
That's awesome.
I,
All
I
right.
needed to like not have any thoughts,
Yeah.
to be in a flow state.
It's such a hard space to get, but I know the feeling. Like every once in a while, DJing, I get there for sure, especially when there's a big
Yeah,
crowd and you're just vibing with them.
yeah, yeah.
All right, let's get on some. Let's get on a little fun topic real quick. Since you're here and you are an alien, what's your thoughts on aliens? Do they exist? I think I know the answer to this, but yeah, I'm assuming you think they. I'm assuming they exist personally, but
Well,
I'd love to hear.
the thing is that I don't know. I have like this way of thinking that I've noticed that I can believe contradictory things. Like I can believe that we're the only like species in the whole galaxy and like we are just happen to be the firsts and we're sort of projecting our future selves with this whole alien thing. But also I've had personal experiences that like inform me that that there's something out there. And those personal experiences I can't fully ignore because they were so impactful. But I actually have an idea on how the technology of UFOs could work based upon my understanding of sound waves. Do you want to hear this story?
Yes, please. I would love that.
All right. So one of the key concepts to understand is gravity is a wave. And this is a new discovery. It was discovered in 2015 with the LIGO system, which is basically a mile-long vacuum tube with a laser shining through it. And there's two of them, one in Washington State and one in like Louisiana or somewhere in the South. And basically, to boil it down, like when two black holes collide or two like a neutron star and a black hole or any super dense object, they actually create a gravity wave, which is a wave in space time itself. And they can measure this with the LIGO system because as the gravity wave passes over Earth, the amount of distance that the laser has to travel changes. And man, learning about how they built this laser, it's literally the most sensitive measuring instrument in human history. It is incredible how sophisticated this device is. So with its implementation, they discovered that yes, indeed, gravity is a wave, and this is a key concept. So the next thing to understand is that waves. Sorry, let me collect my thoughts real quick right
Hmm.
here. Gravity waves. They pass over Earth. So it's weird because space-time itself is bending
Hmm.
to the gravity waves, and that's why we can detect it. And so another thing about gravity is anything with mass has gravity. And so even if it's a minuscule amount, anything with mass creates gravity. And so there's almost like this ambient field of gravity around us, even though it's minuscule. And then the last concept to understand is that is resonance. And this is where my understanding of music really plays into this, is that since gravity is a wave, what other properties of waves can we now apply to gravity? You know, I, that was a fun little experiment. And one of the things I was like, can gravity have resonance? And a way to think about it, like a way to think about physical resonance is imagine like a punching bag
Hmm.
hanging from a chain from the ceiling, and if you like hit it with a baseball bat, it just sort of jiggles around. But if you were to like push it like a swing and like time out those pushes, each push would make it go farther and farther. And that is a resonance system.
Hmm.
Is that it's the frequency of the consistent frequency of force amplified over time. And so I was thinking, what if these UFOs could resonate ambient gravity around us and fall in any direction?
That's brilliant. Yeah, totally.
And I've talked with some physicists about this and engineers, and they're like, I don't know how you'd resonate gravity, but like the idea makes sense. You know, like there's nothing I can think of to say it wouldn't do that. But how you'd resonate gravity is a whole nother question.
That's the secret you've been keeping from us.
Well, it's maybe it's being revealed to all of us.
Hopefully. I mean, we're seeing a lot of stuff in the skies. I mean, if the government's coming out and saying that they're seeing and showing videos of aliens, I feel like we're being prepared for something. Hopefully, we'll all be zipping around in UFOs soon, and then we can get you up here to be in studio next time.
Yeah, I mean, the implications of the democratization of UFO technology would be terrifying and liberating at the same time.
As most big innovations are, I guess,
Yeah. So yeah, this when I'm not like pushing buttons on my computer and wiggling air, I'm thinking about, could this work?
Yeah, totally.
Things like that.
No, me too. I love that. I'm gonna think about that all night now. I'll get back to you if I figure out. I'll do some math.
Yeah, think about since gravity is a wave, what other things can you apply to gravity?
Totally.
I think that was the experiment. That opened my mind.
It's amazing. If you did have an alien like face-on-face experience and they were like, show me human Earth music, and you had to show them like one artist, who would it be? It's such a hard question.
Human music?
I mean, it could be your music too. I mean, I'd be.
I don't know. I think that the thing is with aliens, like we don't know if they would even understand sound in the same way. Like maybe there's some other like pure understanding, and so it's like a mental music. Like this is
totally.
This with this hoodie here. It's got this UFO.
That's so dope.
And the it says universal love is key here. And I had this experience where I felt like I stepped onto a UFO. I stepped out of my body onto a UFO and went to a giant dance party where I met everyone I've ever met or ever will meet, including yourself there. This was back in like 2008. And it's just sort of a weird experience as part of my life. I don't really put too much emphasis on it because I don't understand what it means.
Mm-hmm.
But it's there in my memory banks, and psychedelics can be interesting, and so that's why I feel like I can believe, that was a misunderstanding of the scenario, or I was really experiencing something, and oh my gosh, it was profound. And how I was able to get onto this UFO was by actually feeling universal love. So I loved this UFO so much that it opened the door.
That's incredible. I hope to have that kind of experience.
The universal love is key. I don't know if that's part of reality, but
I mean,
part of my
what we experience as part of reality is what my belief is. Like what is reality? If you experience it, I guess that's reality. At least in your own mind. Somebody's asking, where can we get the hoodie? Do you have those online?
The thing is that this thing this is the first test print, so I'm going to be getting these actually, made in larger quantities here in the next month or so.
Cool. Do you have like a website that they'll be up on, or just your social media?
My Gumroad, which also has all my Ableton racks and other tools for music producers.
Yeah.
I have a YouTube channel where if you just look up AHEE, AHEE on YouTube, you'll come across my channel, and I have a lot of YouTube tutorials for learning how to produce music, and it's my goal to just allow people to better be able to express themselves.
Yeah.
And also I make these like native Ableton instruments or Ableton racks, and I've gotten a lot of positive feedback on those.
They're my favorite.
You were mentioning use them.
Yeah, they're my favorite. I mean, like I've said, I've spent thousands of dollars on effects racks and every wave plugin and every plugin there is, and I don't use anything as much as I use your like everything has your fingerprints all over all of my music, and it's really great to know that. It's great to know that you can do stuff with the stuff that's in the box. It's all just Ableton, like it's in the box Ableton effects, and like it's such a powerful program, and people just ignore a lot of that stuff, and you've done a good job of like highlighting how many cool things you can do with it.
Yeah, and also it's the most accessible for people that already have Ableton.
Yeah, it's super cheap.
Accessibility is important to me, because I want everybody to be able to express themselves better. I think that leads to a more positive world.
For sure. Just last thing is, do you have any messages or shout outs or anything you want to promote? Do you have shows coming up? You must have some shows coming up.
I have January 21st, 22nd. I'm in Reno. Which day? Believe me, I'm out of my mind. January 22nd, I'm playing at the Bluebird in Reno.
Oh, hell yeah, I love that venue.
And then I have a new song coming out on January 19th on Jadu Dala. It's called Action. It's like this post-apocalyptic twerk song. I played it earlier in the set. And then I am also playing some festivals on February 20, sometime in February. I'm playing a couple shows in Florida, and then playing a show in Chicago with Excision.
Oh, hell yeah.
Year as well, or later this year as well.
Amazing. If you have not seen AHEE live, you need to check it out. It's an experience. All those visuals look so dope, like on giant screens, and his music just sounds better over a massive sound system. And it's just always a pleasure, man. Thank you for everything you do. Thanks for being an awesome friend and just a really good inspiration for making music for a lot of people in the scene, myself included. It's always a pleasure to hang out with you. We don't see each other enough. We need to make that happen a little bit more. We need to work on some music together, and you moved away from us, so it's not my fault. It's all your fault.
It is my fault.
But
I now live in a paradise up here in the Redwoods.
I know. You seen Bigfoot? That was one of my questions. You don't have to elaborate, but have you seen Bigfoot yet?
I've seen a lot of deer. And now I'm like getting into identifying mushrooms.
Oh,
like,
sweet.
Ecology. There's just so many up here, and I find them really fascinating. I don't eat anything because I'm too novice at the moment, but I'm learning.
That's awesome. I'll have to come up and pick some mushrooms with you, and we'll try to eat them, I guess, and hopefully not poison ourselves.
We'll get a friend.
There we go. We'll get an expert. Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's it. We're gonna wrap things up. Thank you guys so much for listening.
Bye.
You can hang out for a second while I sign out because this is the only screen I have. Or you can just walk off if you want. Thank you so much, AHEE. Thanks for listening to MobileCoin Radio. We're here every week at 6 p.m. This is our new format. We're going to be doing live shows in studio with incredible producers and DJs from all over the world. Next week, we have Liquid. He's going to be in studio dropping some new tunes with us. After that, we have Little Bird. And then the week after that, we have a world premiere with Moira in the Desert. They used to be known as Breed. They're an incredible live producer. They make kind of like weird bass techno, EDM, IDM type stuff. It's going to be super cool. They're going to bring some gear. They sing. It's going to be awesome. So every Wednesday, 6 p.m., give us a like, give us a follow. Tell your friends about it. We rely on you to get the word out. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. Hopefully you're having an amazing year already. My name is Mark, also known as Demoth. We'll see you next Wednesday. Peace.